Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Kitchen 701. I'm glad to be back. It's been a little bit and the last video didn't work out so well because I didn't have sound, but I'm really glad to be back. And what we're going to be making today is spaghetti squash. I always tell everyone how great spaghetti squash is, so I'm going to show you just how easy it is to make and talk about the benefits of making spaghetti squash instead of a regular pasta. We only need a few things for this. What we need, obviously, is our spaghetti squash. Now, I'm a little disappointed in this spaghetti squash because, as you can see, this is pretty tiny. Got it from the Walmart pickup, but, you just take what you can get, I guess. The disappointment that I have in this, besides the sticker being really sticky, is there isn't going to be any leftovers because, honestly, Britton and I are going to eat this whole thing in one sitting. You don't have to feel guilty about it either. But then you don't have leftovers, and leftover spaghetti squash is so good. But, oh well, we'll just take what we can get, right? Okay, so I've got the oven preheating at 400 degrees, and now with my new oven, I have a roast function, which works out really well, but it does kick in the convection oven aspect of it. And so when you do that, you always have to be a little mindful of the fact that the cooking times may be quite a bit less than what the recipe says. So I've always cooked spaghetti squash in the oven for, anywhere between 30 and 40 minutes. This I'm suspecting for this roast style with the convection and the size of this small spaghetti squash, it's probably only gonna take 20 minutes, but there's some ways to kind of know if it's done. So first things first, let's talk about the benefits of spaghetti squash. So obviously this comes from the garden, so it's low carb, it's low fat, low calorie, it's really high in fiber and a lot of other nutritional things that are really good for you that pasta isn't, unless you go with a whole wheat pasta or some other sort of pasta that's made from some sort of beans or things like that. The other really good thing is that it's a high in antioxidants and it's just a great substitute for pasta. You can feel way less guilty when you eat spaghetti squash. And then for me, life's all about balance. So if I make something with spaghetti squash, I don't feel guilty if I make it be cheesy or have, some other kind of fat in there, or maybe eat maybe more than I would with a pasta because I'm getting good nutrition and, it's still tasty. So the good thing about spaghetti squash is it's kind of, when it's made right, it's like an al dente pasta. So that's something to keep in mind. Some people just don't like al dente pasta. If that's not you, maybe spaghetti squash isn't for you, but I encourage you to try it. First things first, or maybe it's second things second now. I'm going to puncture this spaghetti squash around here so that it does not rupture or burst when we put it in the microwave. Now, we're gonna put it in the microwave for a few minutes to soften up because we have to cut this thing in half. And if you try to cut it in half, especially the bigger ones that, are anywhere between 4 and 5 pounds, it's a little challenging. So we're gonna put this in the oven to soften, or the microwave oven to soften this up. Adeline, you can see she's helping me cook tonight. But we're gonna put this in, since this is small, 2 to 3 minutes. If you have a larger one, it may take 4 to 5 minutes. So I've punctured it and I'm gonna put it in the microwave for those set times. Got this out of the microwave. You have to be careful because it is pretty hot. I put it in for 3 minutes. You can see it kind of burst inside there. I put it in for 3 minutes again just because mine is a little on the small side. Okay, so we're gonna cut this in half, break it open. Okay, so we've got a little bit of stuff we need to do first. We want to get these seeds out of here. They kind of look like pumpkin seeds. We want to get those out as best as you can. Wow, this baby is hot. You don't necessarily need to eat these seeds. If you don't get them all out, obviously there's really nothing wrong with eating them. They're just not the best part of the dish. Okay, and then once I get these seeds out, my favorite part of spaghetti squash is just, you can see, I'll show you what this is gonna end up as. You can see what it's gonna end up looking like once it's all cooked. Oh my gosh, it's the best part, to make it actually be spaghetti-like. Okay, so see how this is getting a little stringy in here? That's our goal, and that is how, after it's cooked, it's going to all be, so it looks just like spaghetti. Okay, so we've got them cut in half. We've got the seeds taken out. Now we are going to put them on a sheet pan. Gonna sprinkle a good helping of olive oil over them. We're going to salt and pepper them. Just a little bit of salt. Don't want to ruin the high nutrition value. And we're gonna flip them face down. Okay, so like I said, I'm gonna roast mine for about 20 minutes is what I'm thinking it's going to take, but it may take 30 to 40 if you have one of the bigger ones, like I wish I had. Anyway, I'll get over it someday. All right, so how you know that it's done is you can take it out about 20 minutes or 25 minutes. In this case, I'll take it out a couple minutes before 20 minutes is up. And when you flip it over, you'll see it's really brown and golden, and you can see it's gotten to be kind of that real lush color. So darker than this yellow that it is, and then you'll know that it's done. Like I said, it's kind of got that al dente pasta vibe to it. So it's gonna have a little crunch to it, but it'll look nice and golden brownish, yellowish. It's going to look beautiful. When it's done, you'll know. Okay, let's get this into the oven. Then we just have to wait the terrible 20 minutes until we can do the best part, and that is making it into that spaghetti. Let me show you this. I just took these out of the oven. They look so good. They're so golden brown. Okay, look at that inside. See that? Where it's like golden, looks almost like caramely. Ooh, so good. See that? That is exactly what we're talking about. Now, the tricky part is waiting until it's cooled off a little bit, because otherwise you will burn the absolute daylights out of your hand, because you gotta hold one piece and, you know, kind of scrape it. So we gotta wait to get it to cool down. While we're waiting, I'm gonna tell you what I'm doing with my spaghetti squash. I'm going to do a, wait for it, garlicky Parmesan chicken spaghetti squash. Is that all of it? Spinach, garlicky Parmesan spinach chicken spaghetti squash. I think that's all of it. But I'll show you what it's gonna look like when it's all put together, because then I'm gonna scrape the insides of this, make it look like spaghetti, and then I'm going to put what I've got cooking on the stove there, which is that big long mix, in here, and then put it in the oven with some cheese and let it get all luscious and beautiful. Okay, here we go. So, you know, this is all a little bit learn as we go. That other half, actually the smaller half, wasn't quite done yet, so I put it back in the oven to let it do a little bit more roasting. But this is all you do. You just scrape your fork inside here and just get all these little pieces to scrape out. It's super easy. There's really no science to it. You just do some scraping. And you want to make sure you get it all and just kind of go all the way out to the shell. Get it all, because it's all so good, especially with this one being a little on the small side. You're going to absolutely want it all. Eat it all in its glory. Okay, so see what I'm doing here? There's really no science to it, but it's getting nice and spaghetti-like. See that, where it's kind of stringy? Okay. Just want to make sure I get it all here, all the way out to the shell. This is still so hot. If I had more patience, I could wait till it's all the way cooled down, but I don't have enough patience for that. Okay, so that one is ready to go. We're just gonna do the same thing with the other one. Just gonna kind of fluff it up a little bit. We'll do the same thing with the other one and throw it back in the oven and enjoy it soon. Okay, so here we go. I've got my mixture of the creamy, garlicky, Parmesan, spinach, chicken. think I got it all. And I'm going to just make sure we get a nice even spoonful. I'm going to just place this on top of the 1/2 of the spaghetti squash. Make it a nice heaping portion. Okay. And then do the same on the other half. This other half split on me, so I can't be too surprised if some of it runs out. It's all part of it, I guess. Make sure I get some of this yummy sauce here. Like I said, we'll make this nice and heaping. Smells so good. And also, like I said earlier, it's all about balance. I can make this creamy, include some cheese, because I'm saving the calories, the carbs, the fat from using the spaghetti squash and getting more nutrition out of it too. Okay, sprinkle some Parmesan over the top. All right, and because I'm feeling extra, we'll put a little bit of mozzarella on here too, because who doesn't love that mozzarella pull when it's all ooey gooey and yummy. Okay, this goes back in the oven, staying at that 400 degrees at that roast setting for about 15 minutes, and I cannot wait